Hello, everyone. Dr. Victoria Scribo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. So can you believe it? It's already time for Tarot Scopes for February 2022. Boy, time flies, doesn't it? So today we're going to do the Tarot Scopes for the sign of Virgo. That's Virgo Ascendant, Virgo Sun, Virgo Moon. So and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the astrology, look at the stars, and then we'll do the card reading. So let me, excuse me a second. I'm going to grab my information here. Okay, here we go. All right, so Virgo. Let's see what's going on for Virgo. So Virgo is, of course, an earth sign. It's a mutable earth sign. It is a Mercury ruled sign. And so what's going on with Mercury will be important with Virgo. And you do have, we do start February with Mercury retrograde. It is retrograde in the sign of Capricorn, I believe at that point. It's in the sign of Capricorn. And it's only retrograde until the 3rd, when it turns direct in Capricorn and then moves through Aquarius and then on its merry way. So there's a little bit of a hiccup in the beginning. It's not going to be as difficult perhaps for you as January might have been with Mercury retrograde, you know, for about for at least the last half of January. So we do have a new moon on the 1st of February. That new moon is in Aquarius. And the new moon in Aquarius will fall in your sixth house of health. Your sixth house of health. It is conjunct Saturn. And so this is a good time to start a health regime. Saturn is strict, as it were, and you could feel like you're putting undue restrictions on yourself, but stick to it because I think it's gonna pay dividends. Now you don't want to get caught up in any like weird, like I can't eat this or I can't eat that, but when I say about discipline, it's about sticking to the program. Sticking to the program, I think, will be helpful. So whether it's your health, because it's the 6th house of health, if you could have it is also, the 6th house is also associated with pets, so your pet might need to be on some sort of strict regime. Make sure that you do actually do that, and it will come to fruition to your benefit, I think. We do have the sun make a conjunction of Saturn on the 4th. That's right after your ruling planet Mercury goes direct. It's just part of that new moon Saturn energy. So that first week is a little bit restrictive, even though it's about new beginnings. In your case, because the first three days your ruling planet Mercury is retrograde, but also because of the presence of Saturn, which is pretty heavy in that first week. And for you, Saturn is in that house of health. And so you may feel a little bit under the weather, but follow the doctor's orders, so to speak, in this case, I think is important. Okay, so on, where is it here? On the 11th of February, we have the Pluto Mercury conjunction. This is the 3rd one. We had one at the end of December, one at the end of January, and now one again in the middle of February. And Pluto and Mercury is a deep dive into your mind. This is Mercury going down to the hell realms. and really sort of digging down deep when it comes to all things Capricorn. And for you, Capricorn is your fifth house of children and your fifth house of um, fun. Now, you're not generally the best at fun, uh, not because you don't enjoy fun, but you're usually so busy working. And for a lot of you, work is fun. So who am I to say it's not fun? But this question of even perhaps, do I deserve love? Do I deserve, frivolity almost, like if like this, like hee hee, that kind of love. Um, and sure, sure you do. We do have a conjunction of Mercury, of Venus and Mars in Capricorn in that house for you. So that could be a new relationship, a new romantic relationship, or even a new creative venture for you. So there's opportunities coming. We have a full moon on the 16th. That's the same day that Venus and Mars come together. So there's an illumination around something, and then there's sort of this energy of the male and the female coming together in an effort for you to respect your abilities, your capacities, and for others to respect you. The full moon is in Leo, and that is your 12th house. So what's getting activated with the moon in Leo and the sun in that 6th house is the necessity for healing, perhaps, an illumination of what might be the best type of healing for you to either have or do. It opens up that transition energy of Virgo and Pisces, which you're very, well attuned to because you're a Virgo. But it may illuminate an area of service you have yet either to explore or thought was possible. So that's something that I see for you as well. Um, the sun goes into Pisces, so the sun moving into your house of relationship brings relationships to the fore, illuminated. How you interact, how are you communicating, are you listening? Um, what do you need to see in the way that you communicate with others, or what do you need to see within the other? And we have, because Mars and Venus makes a conjunction, and then they're sort of moving together in this sort of like moving conjunction. Within a day of each other, they make supportive sextiles to Neptune. Now, Neptune is in Pisces, and of course, Mars and Venus is um, in that 5th house. So we have the 7th house, the 5th house. There's a connection, there's a communication. And so a relationship that was a romantic relationship changes into a committed relationship, a 7th house relationship, or there's some energy from that 5th house, that fun sort of, courting energy that's brought into that 7th house. So there's a connection between those two houses. And those really are the two houses, the house of romance and then the house of marriage, that in their way work with each other and yet are very different. And it's important to keep both those parts of yourself active. It's not just about being a good partner, but it's about having fun and remembering that we have to have fun with the people, that even if we've known them for years and years and years, we have to still connect with that sort of childlike energy, or that, like, just silly stuff, like, ooh, does he like you? Ooh, he likes me. Or, that stuff when you used to like whisper with your friends when you were little. Um, so the beginning of the month is heavy. Towards the end of the month, it starts to lighten up a bit. And so I think that that's a good thing for y'all. All right, let's do a card reading and see what's up for Virgo. The closest one I have here is this one. In the vein of let's keep it light for Virgo, we're going to use the Light Seers Tarot. I love this deck. It is a little slippery though, so at some point I might drop them like I usually do. But I'm going to do my best due diligence not to drop these cards. Oh, but this is interesting. They're all like, they have all these cards that are like in the wrong direction. Oh, that's weird. That never happens. That never happens. There we go. Another one. I must have had some separate. They'll come up. This is for Virgo Rising, Virgo Sun, Virgo Moon. All the Mercury retrogrades this year start in air. I think they all end in Earth. So there's a reevaluation of our ideas as they pertain to our physical security, physical needs, and physical possibilities and potentials. A lot of rethinking. We are in a 6th year. 6 is about responsibility. So you Virgos will feel good about that. You know, how many times are you waiting for somebody else to be the responsible one in the situation, right? This is all about becoming responsive in order to be responsible. All right, let's see what's going on for you, Virgo. All right, well, we have the Knight of Wands here. This is very fiery, very excited, wanting to get on the road. Let's go. Let's take the show on the road. That's what Virgo is saying as we start this month. Remember, we do have that sort of little bit of heaviness in the beginning. And what's challenging it is the King of Pentacles. Do you have the sustaining ability? Do you have the finances? Do you have those things that are going to bring you stability? Are you a good steward of your resources, your body, your physical body, your money, your abilities? You know, are you being paid enough? You know, so there's this exuberant energy that wants to come out, and there's a part of you that's sort of like patting it down and saying, wait, are you really in the position to do this? We have at the root of this the Nine of Swords. So this is anxiety. It can be nightmares. It can be just too many negative thoughts in your head. Let's continue. In the past, we have the Ten of Swords. So you've recently had a loss. You've had to say goodbye to something. And because of that loss, you're worried now. Like you have a lot of anxiety. And yet there's this other part of you that wants to sort of break free and be crazy and put your hair down and bang the drum and all of that, right? What's in the sky is the Magician. So I didn't want to say necessarily anything about whether this sort of new adventure that you're on is a good thing or a bad thing, because it comes after a period of great stress and loss and anxiety. And I wanted to make sure before I said anything that this sort of new you, this new emboldened king of Knight of Wands, right? This is like a whole, this is not really a Virgo energy. You know, you wouldn't call this Virgo. You'd probably call this Sag or Aries or some other fire sign, right? Um, this is more the Virgo, right? The King of Pentacles is like, do you really have enough money to do this? Do you really have the resources? Can you really afford to do this? What the Magician card says in the sky is that you have the power to manifest what you want to manifest. So while you still have to take into consideration the real sort of nuts and bolts of the situation, you don't want to let it impede you from expressing yourself. Let's see what the immediate, yeah. And then we have the devil. So now this is something else. I probably should have pulled that card first. There's a temptation here. There's a temptation. Now, the devil card is not necessarily always a negative card. It can be sensuality. And there's really nothing wrong with sensuality as long as you don't become a prisoner of the sensuality, if you know what I'm saying. The devil is also about humor and understanding that there are things beyond the physical. It's not all about the physical. It's also a Capricorn vibration. The devil card in the tarot is Capricorn vibration. Okay, let's see how it's seen from the outside. The King of Wands. So you're seen as somebody who's got a grasp on what they want, what they believe. We have the Knight of Cups in the domestic situation. Okay, this with the devil card just makes me warn you. I said that there could be a relationship coming in. You do have to check um, oh, what do you call those things? You have to check their papers. That's not the word I'm looking for. You have to make sure they are what they say they are. I want to say that there's an opportunity for a new relationship, but they might be over promising. Hopes and fears, the Tower. There's a part of you that is not completely trusting the situation. Let's see the outcome. The Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is the outcome, and we'll continue to see if we can get a major arcana. The Ten of Wands, burden, and then the Nine of Wands. So this is what I want to say. I am going to guard you against taking people at face value this month. You do need, you're in a very tender place. And there are those people who would take advantage of you if you are not aware. The universe reminds us that we have the power to, with our focused intention, to manifest. But I feel as though you have to be careful of somebody who is not giving you the whole story. And this is the type of person who will create havoc and then leave you with the mess. And it's not the end of you. You will, take on, and you will like move forward like a good soldier. But if it's too good to be true, it probably is. That's the advice I want to give you. So if this person just seems too good to be true, then believe it is. Believe that it's too good to be true. And I want to say that sometimes when you're shining bright, you attract, you know, all kinds of folks. And so there's nothing wrong with shining bright. You just have to be discerning about who you share that light with on a certain level. And I'm thinking more in the romantic kind of things, but you know, it could be business, right? It doesn't have to be romantic, although it's more likely romantic with the other stuff going on in your chart. So we'll see, right? So just be discerning. Just be discerning, and you should be fine. Like I said, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. All right, let me just, did that help? Okay, here we go. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Like and subscribe, and I will see you again next month for the Taroscopes for Virgo in March of 2022. If you're interested in having a reading with me, you can check out what my offerings are on my website, theseedsoftransformation.com. And I do have some classes going on now, and I will start to include more classes. I'm going to put up a Kabbalah class in March. I'll put it up before March when I decide on the days and how I'm going to do it. So you can just check back, go to my events page. If there's something new happening, it'll be there. All right, guys, take care. Much love. Namaste.